Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Bar, where you're getting more booze and reviews. This is a weekly after hours podcast. For those of you that listen to BS Drunk Movie Reviews, you are familiar with those. Those of you that don't, welcome and go check that out. We will be uploading the video version to our YouTube channel at some point. But for those of you that are paid members, you're getting it first. Yay!
Yay!
But feel free to check us out on our regular YouTube channel, which is at BS Drunk Movie Reviews on YouTube. My name is Vetta, and as always, I am joined by my fabulous brother, Matt.
Hey, you guys.
And on this episode, we will be talking about Jurassic Park Dynamo?
It's Dominion.
Are you sure that doesn't sound right?
It's Dominion, but say Dynamo. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna die on my hill if it's like Domino.
Well, rest
Dynamo.
in peace. Rest in peace.
Anyways, all right. So before we get started, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Raptor cocktail. I drink it, I think, for a bunch of these, but it was just like the easiest thing to drink, and like it's delicious. So yeah,
For sure. And I have drank a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I was pre-gaming today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had a good chunk of alcohol.
So I started out my day with a dino drink, which was blue. And I was like, oh, I'll start drinking it because there's a lot of blue references in the movie.
Right on.
But I've drank a few of those. I can't remember how to make them, and I misplaced my phone somewhere. It's in the house.
Oh, right on.
So I just went with, well, what the fuck can I make? And I was like, I know how to make a rum and coke. I'm gonna make a rum and coke. And I was like, oh, I could make a dirty Shirley. I do love a dirty Shirley, but I was out of cherries. So I was like, fuck that. I need cherries with the dirty. So I've got a good old rum and coke.
Rum and coke, yeah, classic. Never hurts to go with the classic.
Did you see this movie in the theaters or at home?
I saw it at home. I think it was day and date release. I can't remember, but I did see it at home. Me and my wife watched it.
Yeah, us too. Yeah, I think it was one of those straight to streaming.
Yeah, I can't remember. Or it was like it wasn't too.
It was really close to the COVID bullshit. So I can't remember if it might have been in theater and then went straight to streaming and we didn't have time because of COVID to go to the theater.
I think it was in theater, but not for like the longest time.
Yeah. So we saw it at home too.
Right on.
So, alrighty. So this one starts out like 3 decades after the original. So we're 30 years past Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay. The first one. Okay.
The first original Jurassic Park.
I thought you meant I thought you meant the last one. I was like,
no, the last episode were only 4 or the flat.
Yes.
Rewind,
yes.
Start over. From the Fallen Kingdom, we're only 4 years after the Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
But we're 30 years past the original John Hammond Jurassic Park. Right. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy that this movie happens 30 years later. Even the fact that it happens 4 years after the Fallen Kingdom.
Right.
So, Biosyn's CEO has negotiated a deal, which I think is very shady, where he's created a quote unquote sanctuary outside of it somewhere in Italy for all of the dinosaurs. Right. And he's looking out for the dinosaurs' best interests. And I'm like, yes. That always sounds shady.
Yes.
So after it goes through all of that little propaganda of Biosyn, it goes to a cattle farm. But it's a dino cattle farm.
Yes.
And it shows Claire, who, for those of you that haven't seen, which I go, you're stupid if you're watching this movie and you didn't pre-watch all the other ones, dumbasses.
Right.
She is the one that was she was the general manager of Jurassic Park. In the last one, she was all save the dinosaurs from the Istanbul, blah, 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 Costa Rica island, whatever.
Right on.
So we learned there are dino cowboys, which
Yep.
Owen Chris Pratt is one of them. But Claire is completely different. She is a kind of like a PETA, but for dinosaurs. Like she's breaking into these dino cattle farms, and she's supposedly reporting them, but she's breaking some of them free. And she's got Zia and Franklin with her.
Yes.
Okay, good. We're on the same page.
We
Great.
are on the same page.
So after they sell, is it a Triceratops baby?
It is a Triceratops baby.
Yeah, that's sick. So they steal it from the Dino Ranch because they know that if they call the Department of Dino, it's kind of like social services for dinos.
Right.
They know if they call them, it'll take them too long and the dinosaur will be dead. So they just up and steal it. And Franklin's all like, bitches, I got a real job offer and I'm going to take it.
Yes. Yes.
So he leaves the group. But what you find out in the meantime after that is that Owen and Claire are living in that cabin that Owen was building in the second one in the Fallen Kingdom. They're living in it and they have Maisie Lockwood with them. They're kind of hiding her because the world is all like, oh, cloned human. We're like, oh, her DNA is the same, but guess what? She's a different person because she has her own soul. I know, it's fucking crazy.
Right on. And Blue has a baby.
Oh, all by itself. Doesn't need a dude at all.
Yeah.
Which Dr. Wu knew in advance and called it. Dr. Wu was like, oh, bitch is asexual, can procreate on her own.
Right on. Yeah. And there's like a dude he's all in the walkie-talkie, like, I found him.
Oh, the poacher. Yeah, there's poachers now in this one because dinosaurs are roaming the world freely.
Right.
It's so, you know how in like today's day and age, we hear about poachers in Africa who are poaching elephants for their ivory tusks and other animals for their skins. These are dino poachers. And there's a very specific creepy, like if I saw this guy, I would call 911 just if he glanced at me. Like he didn't even need to make full contact. If he just was on the same side of the road, I'm calling 911.
Right.
That creepy. Yes, he is on the phone with somebody and he's like, oh, I followed the guy and he's got a girl. I think it's her and the raptor's got a baby. So the CEO of biotech, what the hell is his name?
It's Dotson.
That's right, because he's the guy from the beginning of the very first episode. Duh.
Yeah, it's not the original actor though.
No. It's a completely different actor, but it's the same name.
Yeah.
So Dotson is the CEO now of Biosyn, and he wants Maisie Lockhart because she's the only cloned human, and he wants Beta and that's what Maisie names Blue's baby.
Yeah,
because Blue's genetic makeup is so unique and amazing, according to Dr. Wu, who makes an appearance in this one. I mean, Dr. Wu, he just is the doctor that never stops. DB Wong. He is making his money with this franchise. He just keeps coming back. And this is going to be the one that at the end, he ends up making good. Like he doesn't make good for everything he's done, but he makes the good for what he's done in this movie.
Right on.
So the dinos have adapted to living in the world with humans. We see a couple situations where dinos are attacking people on beaches. Dinos are attacking crabbing boats or fishing boats, whatever they are.
Right.
But we also see where like herbivores are just living their lives and humans are like, hey, we get you're living your life, but we need to get you out of our way because we're trying to live ours too. So they're not being like aggressive. They're just trying to help them out. We specifically see brontosauruses who invade and are like asleep in a logging area, and some guys are trying to do some logging work and they realize there's a brontosaurus. They don't realize there's multiple, but they try to lead out the one, and then the one does her little call
right
that brings the rest to follow and go out. Because if there's anything we learned from all of these movies, is that dinosaurs are like other animals. They live in herds.
Right.
So there's always a alpha or one that's leading the pack. Blue has also stayed close to Owen, even though he ran away in the last one, the Fallen Kingdom, from the mansion. And I don't know where this mansion, where the Lockwood mansion was. And I don't know where Owen is living, but I can't imagine they were super close. But anyways, Blue followed Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have there are these giant locusts that are attacking this farm.
Can we say that Blue and her baby live in an old school bus?
We can.
In the woods, which is weird.
Yeah.
It still has the seats and everything, and they're like walking down the aisle, and I'm like, Blue's too big to be living in a school bus. But yeah, so now there's the locusts. Have at it.
Oh, I'm just talking about the first scene that we see the locusts. These little kids are just chilling out on their farm, and like
they're collecting the eggs.
Yeah, and this giant locust shows up, and then a bunch of them show up, and then like a million of them show up. And I love how they're like running because they're like, get the fuck out of here. And they get in the barn, and the locusts are like huge. They're like the size of like your arm and everything. But and then they capture one. I can't remember. They capture one.
They capture one because that's when we see Ellie from
she shows
from the
up.
very original.
Yes, and she's they mentioned that she's divorced in this one because you remember from the
because her kids are in college now, and her and Mark didn't work out.
They didn't work out,
and now she's like a paleobotanist or a paleo something.
Yes, and she's wearing her classic pink, which she wore in the first movie, which I liked.
Oh, hold on, her something bamboo. Ian Malcolm says it later.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Her shirt is recycled bamboo or reusable bamboo.
I don't know.
They're very happy about it because she's very happy that he knew.
Yeah. So she shows up, and they notice that they've eaten the crops that are not used from biosyn, whatever their fuck their name is. They don't use their seeds.
So she does the whole biosyn has created she's the conspiracy theorist that just happens to be right.
Yes.
She's these locusts were genetically modified by biosyn. Their farms are the only ones that haven't been attacked. So they are trying to control the world's food population. Is that correct? Am I remembering that right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. Then we just hop over to Alan Grant.
Oh, yeah. So then, then she goes to get Alan, and he's on a dig site because he's still a digger. And she convinces him to come with, which really isn't that hard because the minute he hears the words that her Mark didn't, his like dick went ping, follow her everywhere she goes. Yeah. So he is all about it.
Yeah.
Then Maisie's kidnapped. And Blue's baby's kidnapped by that, creepy guy.
Yes.
And Ellie and Alan have agreed to go to Biosyn's sanctuary, where Ian Malcolm is the chaos theorist.
Yes.
So he does lectures to remind them that no matter how hard they try to be amazing, nature will always find a way. It's pretty much all he ever says, just in way more sophisticated ways.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, and Franklin quit working with Claire, and he went to work for the CIA's Dangerous Assets Division.
Yes.
Which pretty much is dino hunters.
Yes. So, how did you feel about the three from the first movie when they first interacted with each other when they got to the little
It was very similar to the first time they interacted in the first one.
Yeah, I really liked it though. I mean, it brought back this feeling and everything. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Because
I mean,
none
it's
of their
not great,
personalities have changed.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. I agree.
And you get this, I love how although I didn't like how DB Wong, the doctor guy, he created the locust, but then he's like having this like regret and everything. And I was like, I don't like him and this whole like, it's
I
like,
feel like there's something else going on.
well, yeah, it's called the writer's room because they didn't want to make him be the bad guy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, he's already a bad guy. I mean, you can't go from he's making dinosaurs in the first one, and now all of a sudden he's like, like if you remember him from that first Jurassic World movie, he's
Oh,
all
he
like,
thought he was amazing and he was God.
yeah, he was just like, and then like in this one, they're trying to turn him into like a redemption story. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, fuck that noise. You're already a
You think
bad
maybe
guy.
he's sick and dying?
Did they? I don't think they mentioned that. So
They
no, I don't
don't,
think I
but he
don't.
doesn't look exactly healthy.
Yeah. And
So,
so you get so what's his face is talking to, I don't remember that woman's name. Um
oh,
the Asian lady, the
Asian,
annoying one.
yeah. Oh, I love her too. Why can't I remember her
I do
name?
like the actress. I didn't like her
Yeah.
character in this
No, I
movie.
love the actress.
It doesn't matter. But
It's
then
gonna drive me insane though. But
then
anyways,
Chris
yeah.
Pratt meets up with an old buddy of his or whatnot. And
Oh, he's the
I can't hear you right now. Can you hear me?
I muted myself, my bad. He's the guy that was his assistant in Jurassic World.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember him. But so he meets up with him and he takes him to this like fight club but for dinosaurs, which I was like, this is kind of fun, but at the same time I'm all like they didn't do it great and
Oh,
everything.
fun fact, side note, fun fact. This
Yeah.
exchange slash dinosaur underworld takes place on Malta. My daughter just went to Malta with school for spring break. I didn't know Malta was a real place.
Okay.
Till my daughter's school was like, "Ooh, we're gonna go to Malta." And my kid was like, "Can I go to Malta?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I've heard that places before. That's real. Are you sure?" I had to
Yeah.
Google it, and it was all
Yeah.
like the Queen of England and Queen Elizabeth II and Philip honeymooned here. Blah 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 blah. It like mentioned all this movie stuff, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I think they filmed Game of Thrones there.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, something
The
like the
what was
first two seasons.
the
King's Landing.
Thank you. No, not King's Landing. The one where
Oh, does
the
this
twins were
matter?
from. Where the twins were from. Where were they from?
They were from Casterly Rock,
Thank you. That's
but
what was from
they only that okay, listen, we're not talking Game of Thrones right now. We're getting off the beaten path. All right, let's go
there.
back
Okay,
to
sorry,
Dominion,
my bad, my
okay?
bad, my bad.
Or Domino, how you called it. Anyway, so Bryce Dallas Howard meets a pilot, this black lady. I don't remember her name. And I don't remember what they do here. I can't remember, but she's trying to look for Maisie. And I loved how when I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but okay, so they're trying to break up this dinosaur fight club, and they get, I don't know if were those CIA agents or whatever that popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But so they pull their guns, and the lady in white, she does her little thing with the lasers, and the raptors, they open up raptor cages, and the raptors start attacking those CIA agents or whatever. And I thought this part was just completely ridiculous. Like the CIA, the raptors get controlled by little like laser pointers.
I was like, is
Ridiculous.
this Mission Impossible? Hashtag dinos?
Yeah, so but then Chris Pratt has to run from one of them because now they're chasing him. And then Bryce Dallas Howard, she fights the lady in white or whatnot. And they are just running all through Malta. We'll just say Malta. Yeah, that's my story on that one. But I did, this was probably my favorite. The raptor chase was probably my favorite part of this movie, but it was kind of ridiculous. I did like how was this Malta that they were on?
The whole underground world takes place in.
Okay, they didn't just film there, it takes place there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like this raptor chase scene? Because I felt
I love this whole Malta scene from the moment they get off the plane and they exchange the merchandise to the moment that Claire and them are like, oh, we missed her. Oh,
Yeah, can I
sad.
just say the streets of Malta or wherever they are is so small and narrow and shit that I'm all
That
like,
is legit. My
I'm
kid sent me pictures and I was like, oh my God, I don't even drive there, but I have anxiety. And she's like, oh yeah, street laws, just a suggestion.
yeah,
Only
it's
one car at a time can fit down roads. So it's at your own risk.
yeah, it's just crazy. But I did like how the Raptors chased him through, and then they got to that one courtyard scene where oh, and I did like when Bryce Howard, she put the pole up and that one like hit the thing and flipped over or whatnot. But then they make it to that little courtyard area, and there's like two T-Rex looking dinosaurs, the ones with the horns and everything. I don't know what they're called. And it eats that one dude on a scooter. I thought that was fun because I was like, but here's my question about this whole dinosaurs living in the real world. When stuff like this goes down, we have guns and like missiles and rocket launchers and stuff. Why are we just letting these dinosaurs like run loose and like hurt people for fun? Like, I'm like, why aren't we doing something about it?
Do they fall under like pets, the ethical treatment of animals?
No, they not in my book. Not in my book. They don't. But so
it all depends on where you fall. Do you fall on their predators or their animals? Because I mean, a shark is a predator, but it's also an animal to me. So I fall on the favor of don't be stupid and swim on the ocean and look like a seal, or a shark's gonna eat you. But as far as a dinosaur goes, I go, don't be an idiot and put yourself in a position where you're gonna get eaten by a dinosaur.
I guess so.
I don't know. I go, there probably at the time organizations that would protect the dinosaurs. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Either way, they're stupid.
Yeah. So then they get on the one woman's plane, and I don't know about you, but I was like, I'm not getting on that plane. I wouldn't be getting on that plane. It looks like pretty ratty, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to get eaten by raptors, so I guess I would get on the plane. And I did like how she's like, we're taking off and everything, and he jumped off into the back of the plane, but those raptors were like super freaking close.
The raptors were only following him.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I was Claire, I'd be like, why the fuck did you leave them here?
Yeah, well, I did like when the raptor got on the plane and then like the bike like knocked it out and everything and it landed in the water, and I was like, do you think it was like it learned how to swim, or do you think it was just like
could it learn how to swim with those little T-Rex arms?
I don't know.
I feel like it wouldn't go anywhere. It'd be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Right on. So then after they're flying, they get
too close to the sanctuary.
Too close.
ADS is inactivated.
Yes, and that big like pterodactyl looking thing.
I can't remember what they called it, but yeah, when the island deactivates the ADS, it now allows flying dinosaurs to get high enough to attack aircraft.
Yeah. And at first I liked how they thought it was like everything was cool and it was like going away. And then it just like comes back. It's like, oh, fuck that noise. I'm coming back. I'm going to open up this tin can.
And its giant claw goes through the windshield. Not all their claws. It's just the one giant claw.
Yeah. And I can't remember what she says, but I think she says something like, there's only the one seat that Bryce Dallas Howard has the parachute on it. I can't remember.
Because she goes, I never planned on having to crash or something like
right. That. And like Bryce Dallas Howard is all like, ah, and everything as she's flying through the air. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be the same way, honey. But then I love how the pterodactyls like start attacking her, because I'm all like, yeah, it's like free lunch right there. I'm like, you guys just let her loose to die.
But she's being attacked by pterodactyl. Would you have had the state of mind to know that you could pull the lever like Owen told you to get the safety chute out? I would not have.
Right on. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to get myself in that situation if possible.
I don't ever plan on jumping out of a perfectly good plane, so I don't have that in my repertoire, but
yeah. And then we get the frozen lake scene. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought this was kind of fun. But did you know dinosaurs had feathers? It's time for feathers. But
I did not. But if we learned anything from the first one, Grant does think they evolved into birds.
right on.
So that would make sense.
I did like how the one it swam underneath the water and everything, because I was like, oh shit, you thought you were safe and everything. And then Owen like falls underneath the water. Which was fun, but then he like got saved or whatever. Although that woman pulled him out really easily, and I'm all like, I don't think she would be able to pull him out that easily. But here's the
Because he'd
question.
be waterlogged. He'd be super drenched and heavier.
Yeah, that's the thing. And she just pulled him up like it was nobody's business. I'm
And
like,
she's on slippery ice. Like, I feel
yeah,
like there's so many problems. Like, my logical brain cannot, no matter how intoxicated I am, my survival instinct hones in and goes, nope,
I did like how she pulled out that taser and she was like, "Bye, ow, bitch," and everything. So
Would a taser work on him? Could it?
I don't know. What do I know? I don't have answers for you on that kind of stuff.
I don't either. I'm just saying, I don't think it would work because it's a lizard. It's got thicker skin. Did you not see the last episode when they were trying to draw blood and they had to like,
Right on. Okay, so can we talk about Grant and Ellie trying to get into that lab, that locust lab or whatever,
where
okay.
they're being like Gilligan and
Yeah, so they go into this lab. Now, I just want to say this whole locust thing was just completely ridiculous in my opinion. I was just like completely just like the whole time I was like, this is driving me mental. But they find out that these locusts are, only attacking crops that are not genuine cell or whatever they're called or whatever. And Maisie's there. Yeah. And Maisie's there, and I don't remember what they were using Maisie's for, but I love how when they
because Dr. Wu shows her, because Dr. Wu worked with
her
Charlotte.
Mom. Yeah, her
yes,
mom.
and he shows her the video of Charlotte talking about being pregnant, and then showing baby Maisie on the camera talking about how she altered her DNA. So what, I don't remember the disease that Charlotte had, but it was a terminal disease, and she altered Maisie's DNA so she would not have the same disease. And Dr. Wu was like her assistant or co-partner thing and stuff. So he showed her like Charlotte's video diary of everything.
Right on. And then so Grant and Ellie, they try to escape, but they let off the locusts go ape shit, right? And then they drop their little bracelet to get them through the place or whatever, and they're all like, we gotta get out of here. But then that gas gets set off, and then finally they get out and everything, and they give each other the look and everything. So then what happens after that?
So then they're running around on the level, and they run across Maisie, and she tells them who she is. And then they go to the pods. And remember, they were supposed to have a tour on level 3 at the pods. And Roland or Raymond, what the hell was his name?
I don't remember.
Hold on. Ramsey. Ramsey meets them there. And Ramsey is the one that alerted Ian Malcolm on the fact that the locusts had been given Palian DNA. And so they've hidden Maisie, and he's like, do you have the sample? And they're like, reluctantly, they say yes. And he's like, okay, you've got to get on this. This is going to lead you to the airfield where you can get on. And they're like, but wait. And they call for Maisie. And he's like, holy crap, you're Maisie Lockhart. And he puts them all on the capsule or little transit thing to get away. But during this time, what the hell is the place? The Dick, the asshole guy, he shuts down the system. Dotson.
Yeah. Dotson, yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're trapped in like the subway tunnels with some weird ass alligator.
Well, before that, can we talk about Bryce Dallas Howard and how she had to escape that one dinosaur after she got off the parachute?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. So she's all, she's hanging on the little chair, and I love how she's just hanging there, and I'm all like, "Bitch, get yourself free!" But the dinosaur
Which
like
is very similar to Ben, who dies in the third one from the parachute.
Yes. But she's like standing there, and the dinosaur like comes up like right next to her, and his eyes all like clicking and shit. And I'm all like,
"How you doing, girl?"
Yeah. It's just like looking at her. I'm all like, "Bitch, you need to get yourself free." But that one didn't eat her. That one was just like all just chilling out and everything. And I'm like, good.
He's like, "You smell good."
Yeah, because then there's like a deer, and it's like in its way, and it's like, "Move, bitch!" And I was like, "Man, this dinosaur is not fucking around.
Get out the way, move, bitch."
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And so she ends up detaching herself, but then that dinosaur is all like, "What's going on here?" So she crawls herself to some water, and it's coming up like behind her and shit. But I feel like it was blind because its eye was like very like white and everything. So she like gets underneath the water, and it can't like, I don't know, see her or whatever. And she's underneath the water, and the whole time I'm all like, "Bitch, you did a good job hiding underneath that water. That was good. Daddy liked that." Okay, you go ahead and talk now.
So now we're in the other tunnel with Owen and Maisie and the pilot. No.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, wasn't Maisie and Grant and Ellie in there?
Grant, Ellie, and Maisie. And they run to a door because they're being chased by that giant gator looking
which
thing.
Can I just say, that one was the most ridiculous. I was like, "Oh, you all can fight off that thing. It's all like and shit with its spike and shit." I was like, "Y'all are afraid of that thing? You got like flames
that
and
looks
shit."
like a baby of the one from Jurassic World that jumped out and ate the shark, and the one that ate the guy off of the ladder in the last one. This is a baby. You can fight it. And of course, Malcolm shows up to the rescue.
Yes.
As always, at the perfect time. And he's just trying random codes. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's like 1985.
Right.
Marvin Gaye's birthday. He's
right.
like trying all these random numbers, but what he doesn't realize is that Ramsey's watching on camera and enters in the correct thing, and he thinks that he's entered in. Ian thinks he's entered in the right code. So he gets them out, and they take. He's like, "We got to get out of here," which is not wrong.
Gotta get out of here.
Got to get out of there. And that's when like all of the dino chases started. Like now we've got like what 10-15 minutes of everybody's being chased by dinos.
Yeah, we have that big explosion where the like fiery locusts
and
like
this
break
is
out
the
of that
part
thing.
where I went, what dino is gonna eat Dotson?
Oh, right. And
I totally wrote that down. I wrote the dino chases start. Hell is breaking loose. And then what dino's eating Dotson? What dino is eating Dotson? And I will save it to the end, but I wrote down and I was correct. And I didn't remember it from the original or from the first time I saw it, but it does make an appearance from the original and a few others. So, there's a big one in this, a big lesson to learn. Kids
are not watching or listening to our podcast, but okay.
That's true. Anyone over 18, which you should be over 21 if you're listening to Pat, drink responsibly. Kids should really listen to us at this point, because this is where I say listen to your parents. Because if Maisie would have listened to Owen and Claire and stayed at the fucking cabin, none of this shit would be happening.
Right.
Oh.
So they're driving and they get knocked over, or they like get knocked, they like stop or whatever, and they meet Maisie or whatever, or they meet Maisie, and Claire gets to meet Ellie and the rest of them or whatnot. And then they're
at that little like rest area. I don't know what it's called, like little pod station thing.
Yes. And then they get attacked by, I don't know what that dinosaur is. I'm just going to call everything with big teeth and huge a T-Rex, but they get attacked by that. And Ian like puts the flames in his mouth or whatever and everything. And they all end up surviving or whatever. I thought they were going to kill off one of them at that point in time.
Nope. Everybody lives.
Yeah. So there's like a big evacuation. and everything. And then Dotson gets in a pod by himself, right? And so, but the pod like breaks down in the middle of it. Okay. In the middle of the
and you hear
yes. Yes. And then and but he's in this like pot or whatever, and it's my least favorite dinosaur, the Diplosaurus or whatever.
Doplosaurus.
Doppler, they scare me so hardcore, and it was like because it breaks through the glass, and you see it's like and it's like and everything, and then like it just starts shooting that goop at him, and what?
I said I love the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, I don't. And
It shoots
and
this little black tar and it sucks against your face and you're paralyzed.
yeah, and they eat him.
Mhm.
So then Maisie meets up with Baby Blue, and they end up shooting it, and then
Oh, can we talk about Ian Malcolm's my favorite line from him when they're in the little room and she's like and Owen's like, oh, it's on this level, blah, blah, blah. And Ian's like, what do you mean? And she's like, we got to go get Blue. And he's like, oh, a baby raptor. And you gave it a name. Look at that.
Right on.
What
Yeah.
could go wrong?
Right on. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. It's great. So then.
So this is the part where we have like the homage to the first one, where Ellie goes with Claire to turn off and turn on the main power.
Right.
Which Ellie does in the very first one too.
Yes. So then Chris Patton, he meets up with BD Wong's character. I don't remember the scientist guy or whatever, and everybody's yes, and they're having a talk and everything. And then the thing with the spiked hands that was like roaring at Bryce Dallas Howard while she was
hanging. That's the Gigalosaurus, right?
Yeah, the gig and a T-Rex looking thing. They start fighting, and it's like, let them fight. And so
the death.
Yeah, they're fighting, and then and I don't even care who wins that one.
No,
and
but there's always a big dino fight, and this is the big dino fight.
Yeah. And then Ian, and then they escape. They all escape, right? And then Ellie and Grant, they kiss. They're having like a
thing. Back together.
Yeah, they're back together. And BD Wong is like he's out in some wheat field at the end of it because they're doing like
because he ends up being like the big whistleblower. You know how that's like a trendy thing to be the whistleblower.
Yeah, but it's like you did all the stuff, dude. You were the one that
mean you fixed your mistake.
Yeah, you headlined this stuff, and now you're all whatever. And then they return Baby Blue back to Blue, and which I'm all like, I would have just shot that sucker.
And they all live happily ever after. And little Maisie becomes like, what's his name? Steve Irwin.
Yeah,
but she's the dino version.
Yeah.
Doing her little videos of, oh, they're so lovely and pretty. Pet, pet, pet.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Did I miss anything? No, I do not.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next segment of the show. What is your question for the day?
Okay, so this movie had a lot of characters from the first franchise returning. If you could have one character return from any of the past movies, what would it be? Go.
Any of the kids or all of the kids. I think there should be like some little, you know how anytime there's something tragic, they always want to roll out the children survivors or the children victims or whatever. Yeah. I feel like eventually there would be like, oh, let's bring out the kids, and they would bring out the original kids and they're all grown up or whatever. I think any of them would be great.
Yeah, I was going to say Tim and Lex, but then I changed my mind on my answer. But yeah, and those people are still acting. They're just maybe they will bring it back.
Even the girl that played Kelly in the second one and Eric in the third, all four of those kids are all active actors and actresses. So
yeah, bring them back. Have them be the next stars in the next one. Okay, so I said Vic Hawkins, which is played by Vincent D'Onofrio in the first one when he sticks. I just want to say we didn't see a dead body. So he could come back just missing an arm. I'm just saying, like, he could have got away, but he's just maybe missing an arm and a leg. You never know. I'm just saying, we didn't see a dead body. He could still be alive.
He's an amputee at this point.
Yes, I'm just saying we could
he did tell us that whole story about his dog. So
that's so true. So I'm just saying we could bring him back, and I loved that. I love that scene where he puts his arm up, like what are you doing, you psycho? What are you doing?
Like, what is I'm not a dino expert, but I knew you were losing an arm, dude.
Right on. All right, what is yours?
So we have watched 6 Jurassic movies. We did not watch the short, but maybe we'll do it as a bonus episode.
Yeah, we'll react to it.
So out of all 6 movies, from your favorite to your least favorite, rank them.
Okay, I'm gonna leave out the short. I'm just gonna count the movies. Okay,
yeah, just the 6 movies.
Do you want to go back and forth from our least favorite to our favorite, or you just want me to list all of them?
Sure, we can go back and forth. What is your favorite?
Okay, so my favorite is, of course, Jurassic Park, the original
Absolutely,
one. That's my number 1. Yeah, it's so good, so good. My number 2 is Jurassic Park 3.
Mine is number 2.
Is it really with them taking it back to San Francisco and everything?
Oh, but I love the part with them bringing the T-Rex back and the T-Rex going, "Bitch, give me my kid."
Gotcha. All right. The third one, number 3 is Jurassic World, the first one. I like that.
That's mine too. No, okay. Jurassic World is my number 3 as well.
Okay, my number 4 is Jurassic Park 2.
And that's my Jurassic Park 3.
Okay, gotcha. And then my 5th one is Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom.
Oh no, mine is Jurassic Park Dominion, whatever. The one that starts with a D.
Right on.
Donzo.
Yeah. And then my least favorite is Jurassic Park Dominion. This one was my least favorite.
My least favorite is Fallen Kingdom.
Gotcha.
I don't like the whole auctioning him off. I know that's probably what would happen in the real world, but in an entertainment value, I don't want to see it. I know countries would be buying black market, blah, blah, blah. I
feel like with Fallen Kingdom, I really like the first part of the movie when they're on the island. It's when they leave the island where it kind of falls off the map.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. All right. What is
that was
your question. All right. Good. You go. You go.
All right. So would you recommend this franchise as a whole, or would you say only watch certain ones?
I would say watch it as a whole. I mean, like, this is the thing. Are all of them stellar? No, but I mean, if you just watch the first 3, fine. But if you watch the last 3, you have to watch the first 3, or you're like, what's going on here? So I think that or you at least have to watch the very first one. You have to watch the very first one. And if you're watching the last 3. But I would say, yeah. I mean, they're dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are always fun, even if the story is stupid.
I would agree. You should watch them all. Only because I don't feel like you need to watch them all to know what happens in any of them. Like, you can watch any one at a time. There's no order to watch them in. But I feel like you'll be disconnected on where does this person come from? I mean, it's not a huge thing, but I definitely feel like you need at least for me, the nostalgia of the first one. And then if you skip to the last one, that's okay, but you're still getting the nostalgia of, wait, they were in the first one, but I definitely they're fun entertainment for the whole family. You should watch them all.
I agree.
Anything else you would like to add?
No, I have nothing else I want to add.
Okay. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening to us at PS, wow. Sorry. If you're listening to us through on the I'm just gonna start over. I'm so sorry. This is drinks. Drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you listen to our regular podcast, BS Drunk Movie Reviews on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. It truly does help us out. Follow us on Twitter to stay updated at BS Drunk Pod. We will also be posting this video on our YouTube channel at a later date, but we want our subscribers to have it first.
Yes.
Please leave us a review on YouTube and subscribe. You guys have no idea how much it helps little podcasts and YouTube channels like us, but we truly do appreciate it.
Yes.
And if you are listening to us on Patreon, love you too for all your support.
Yes.
And most of all, guys, please remember to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, everybody.
Bye.